Hey there, Clashers, it is your host Galadon. Thank you for joining me for another very special episode of Clash of Clans Attacks, where today, in over a year and a half of playing this game, I have put together what I feel are my top 3 tips for preserving trophies. Now, today's episode was inspired at least in part by this village layout that we're looking at right here. I know I just got through making an episode talking about a fantastic Town Hall 10 base setup, but this one is actually doing even better. I've defended with it 6 times so far and had 3 wins, including a very rare 2 in a row. And as you can see, this is a bit of a teaser style layout, very few walls at the bottom of the map and a lot of defenses, very few defenses at the top of the map, but a lot of walls, and that's what drew this attacker in. But unfortunately for him, he exhausted his supply of wall breakers without getting anywhere near that Town Hall enclosure. A jump spell might have made a difference here, but he did not bring one, and now that top Inferno Tower and my clan castle troops are grinding him down, eventually going through the last of his witches off to the left, going up to work on the queen there, and by the time the queen gets through those last wizards, she has to activate her royal cloak, but it is going to be too little too late, as those defenses are going to wear her down and eventually euthanize her. Now, look closely at the top Inferno Tower. It is completely run out of DE. There is a dead Inferno Tower, and that is going to come into play on the next attack because, like I said, I didn't have a chance to log on between defenses and load it back up. As we're watching the end of this attack, less than 40% damage achieved, so I don't get the 12-hour shield, and I'll be vulnerable to another attack. And that is an important tip right there, especially if you're near or above champion level. If you're chasing trophies, it's best to log right back on as soon as you log off. Just wait a minute or two, log back on during that defense while the counter is still counting down, your opponent is attacking you, so that this doesn't happen to you. You don't get attacked twice in a row, because that second attack is almost always going to be a victory, because your clan castle will be empty, your heroes are likely asleep, and your bombs and traps have been triggered, and like what happened to me, your Expos or an Inferno Tower could have run dry. So we will move ahead to the second defense in a row here, and right away you can see that empty Inferno Tower just above the Town Hall. And now here comes an air attack, and that is lucky for me, an unpleasant surprise for the attacker, because he's no doubt expecting that all of the traps and bombs have been deployed, but they are still there, and they're going to help defend the village from these balloons. He's going for that individual deployment of groups of balloons attack, where he's trying to take out the air defenses and the archer towers and clear the way for his minions. But unfortunately for him, and the key to the victory here, was the fact that he failed to take out any of those air defenses. The one on the right survives that group of balloons. It's coming towards it, but that wizard tower is going to help take them down. They are all history. Very last group of the balloons here heading for that air defense, and they're going to fail as well, and that is big trouble for these minions. All of the air defenses are still up. He's going to try to send those minions in, but they are going to get wiped out very quickly by the air defenses and the Expos that are evenly distributed around the village and set to air and ground. So as we take a moment to watch this attacker in desperation try to get to 50% damage and save losing all of those trophies, I'll take a moment to go over tip number 2. And tip number 2 is to keep a sloppy village. And what I mean by that is, you notice all the tombstones that are around my village. I think that this actually works better at lower trophy levels than it does up high, but that right there is a very misleading cue towards attackers. When attackers see all of those tombstones, they're probably immediately thinking untended village, empty clan castle, maybe even Expos and Inferno Towers that are close to empty as well. And by not clearing those tombstones, you can give an attacker a false sense of confidence, and they can be in for an ugly surprise when they start their attack. And this attacker was certainly displeased with the results here, and as you can see, he winds up the attack with 44% damage, this time passing that 40% mark, giving me that 12-hour shield and an additional 28 trophies. So let's move on to tip number 3, which is possibly the most important yet the most simple tip to follow, and it is all about finding a winning village layout. And the easiest way to do this, Clash of Clans makes it super simple for you. Click that trophy button at the top left of your screen. You're taken to your own league, and you're able to see the attacks and defenses won by everybody in your league. You can see there that there's a couple players in my league that have extremely high defensive wins, and we just happen to go here to Miles from the clan Have It. Take a look at his setup. And there is a familiar sight. Yes, that's where I got the idea for my village layout. Now, it is important to remember that a high number of defensive wins doesn't always mean a hugely successful village layout. He may have dropped significantly in trophies. He may be defending, serially defending over and over and over again, so you never know how many defeats he had. But it is a pretty good indicator and definitely saves you time and helps you find that village that is going to preserve trophies. So that is going to wrap up this top trophy tips episode. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think. Also, feel free to share your best trophy saving tips with me as well. I might use them in a future episode, and if I do, I will definitely credit you. In the meantime, please do check out my other videos, Town Hall 6, 7, 8, and 9 tips. Like, comment, subscribe, and favorite. And of course, I will see you tomorrow with more full attacks.
That was a total galley fail, Gallydon. I didn't see a single gym box.